What's going on, everybody? It's your boy PTK Blam back with another video. Yes, I'm hitting you guys again with another video, man. I told you guys I'm gonna start putting these things out a lot more frequently, man. Gaming is heating up and there's so much to talk about. Before we get into today's video, I do want to say first and foremost, give you guys an update on the Shop podcast return. There is an update as far as the time of the actual show. I am changing it and updating that to 3 p.m. AZ time, which is 5 p.m. EST. We had to make an adjustment. Shout out to Fuzz. Shout out to 3-Bit Pixelated Echoes. I did not want to make sure the schedules overlap, so we do want to make sure I make that adjustment. I will put out a formal tweet on Twitter. That way everybody has the updated time, so please come hang out with us this Sunday. We already have a guest lined up, man, so I'm looking for another guest or two to come hang out with us on that return show, man. We're going to be doing it real big. I'm sure we'll have so much to talk about, man, including today's topic that I'm getting into here in a second. So shout out to everybody for watching the previous videos as well, man. Thank you guys. I'm enjoying doing these standalone videos, having a lot of fun, man. But let's dive into today's topic, man. So I am talking a little bit about Battlefield, and this was not on my bingo card this year. It's actually surprisingly came out of nowhere, and I love the fact that this is happening now, right? So we got a huge announcement from Battlefield. Shout out to EA. Shout out to Vince Zampella, the guy in charge. Vince Zampella, aka Call of Duty guy. You know, Pete Call of Duty is associated with Vince Zampella, Titanfall guy. So, you know, he is essentially in charge of reviving this franchise, which people have really wanted to come back. I'm a big Battlefield fan. My favorite Battlefields have been the spinoffs. Actually, you know, I believe the best Battlefields were Bad Company 1 and 2, as well as Battlefield 3 and 4. So I think that stretch was about peak Battlefield for me. I played a ton of Battlefield, had a ton of times. And what separates Battlefield at the time from games like Call of Duty, games like Halo, which were also, you know, competing at the time, was just the more realistic battles, right? You know, you had realistic weapons, realistic armies, realistic tanks and planes, and it kind of there was a realism there that you didn't really get. Call of Duty was way more arcadey with the perks and things like that. Halo obviously was a sci-fi shooter, so this was about as good as it got. You know, with the destruction, that was one of one. You didn't really get that in Call of Duty. You didn't get the destruction in Halo as well, so it set itself apart in a lot of ways. And the more recent iterations of Battlefield have not been up to par for a lot of fans. You know, 2042 came out with a lot of hype. A lot of us got back on board and they pump faked it. You know, the gameplay was good initially. Content was lackluster. Then they abandoned it for a long time. Then decided, you know what, we got to do something with it. Came back. Provided some decent updates. Some people did come back, but it was too late by then. You lost the crowd. People have moved on. So once again, I'm going to read a little bit from IGN article, and I'll put the link down in the description for IGN's article. So basically, the article was titled, First Official Look at New Battlefield Gameplay as EA Reveals Battlefield Labs. EA has delivered the first official look at the new Battlefield game as part of an announcement around player testing and its development setup. The brief glimpse of pre-alpha Battlefield gameplay comes as part of a video revealing what EA calls Battlefield Labs and accompanying call to arms for playtesters. Meanwhile, EA revealed Battlefield Studios, the umbrella branding for 4 studios it has working on the new Battlefield. These are the 4 series main Stockholm, Sweden-based developer DICE, Dead Space remake and Star Wars Squadrons developer Motive, U.S. studio Ripple Effect, formerly known as DICE LA, and UK studio Criterion, whose work on Need for Speed has come to an end. DICE in Sweden is building the multiplayer for the new Battlefield. Motive is working on single-player missions and multiplayer maps. Ripple Effect is working on bringing in new players to the Battlefield franchise. And Criterion is working on the single-player campaign. As already announced, the new Battlefield sees the return of traditional single-player linear campaign after 2021's Battlefield and 2042 went multiplayer only. EA said its collective Battlefield studio teams are now entering a critical phase of the development cycle and want the player feedback on what to prioritize, improve, and refine before release. To that end, Battlefield Labs, we will see EA test almost everything, but not everything players will see be complete. Participants will have to agree to an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, before getting in. And there's a bunch of other information. I'm not going to read the article. It's quite extensive. But you can go ahead and, you know, click that link down in the description if you want to see that in full. But I just wanted to give my quick gist on what I think about, you know, just the recent information on Battlefield. For one, as a Battlefield fan, I am excited. But to be honest, I can't get too excited because Battlefield 42, the exact same thing happened. So I want to be optimistic about Battlefield, and I do love the approach. Take the player first approach and say, let's actually put the game in the player's hand, and we'll do a bunch of play tests and we'll see what people like. So I think that's always a smart route to go. When you put the game in the player's hands and allow them to essentially build the game alongside with you, I mean, that's kind of what you need for Battlefield, and like I said, there was a simplicity to the gameplay. There was a realism to the gameplay you didn't get from Call of Duty, you didn't get from competing games like Halo and other shooters. And that void has yet to be filled in the shooter space. We have yet to fill that void. We have other games, that are similar, but we never got that Battlefield field. So we need that back. And it looks like they're at least going to the drawing board and saying, hey, we're going to allow you guys to test this out alongside us as we build this. We'll fine tune it and figure out what's good. So I do love that route. I do see that they're going to Call of Duty route. Shout out to Vince Zampella as far as bringing it looks like 4 different studios here together to build this game. That could be good or bad. That remains to be seen. That is the Call of Duty recipe. We seen from Activision Blizzard, they did that for an extremely long time. They had essentially all their studios doing some part or having some hand in Call of Duty. And we're seeing that here with them bringing about 4 different studios together to do different pieces to the game. So we'll see how all that fits. Obviously, we're going to get more information. By the time I've recorded this video, they were supposed to let us know specifically when the playtests were going to be. I know some people were signing up. There was a long queue. I did see that on Twitter. Some people experienced long queues, like 17, 18-hour queues. So I don't know what, the expectation is. People want Battlefield. Battlefield, there's always a place for Battlefield. What's so funny about these franchises like Halo, Call of Duty, Battlefield is that nothing ever really replaces them. How many times have we seen these games or felt like these games are on their deathbed, but nothing comes along and says, well, I'll replace that? Because there's nothing really that you get that feeling. As bad as people say Halo, the state of Halo Infinite is, there's been nothing to come along to say, man, I don't even, this definitely is a great replacement for Halo. There's nothing definitive you can say that replaces Halo. That's why Halo is still Halo. It still exists in some form. It's not as popular as it once was, but there's nothing to come along that does it better than what Halo does. Same thing with Call of Duty and same thing with Battlefield. And that's why these franchises are really special, and they'll always kind of have a place. It's really just up to the devs to get these games where they need to be. You know what I mean? So I'm excited. I do love the fact that they're going back to a campaign. We saw that Call of Duty went that route, and they went heavy with the campaign and, paid a lot of attention and put a lot of time into the campaign. This is actually getting a very long dev cycle. I believe it's been 4 years since they've been working on this, I believe, which is the longest dev time a Battlefield game has had, or close to the longest. So this thing has really been in the oven for a while. So I'm really interested to see what they're going to do with it going forward. I assume we're going to get more information at some summer showcase, probably EA showcase. It might get its own standalone showcase. Who knows who has the marketing for it? Maybe PlayStation, maybe Xbox. Maybe even Switch. I don't know if the Switch 2 is going to be able to run this, but you never know, right? That'll be interesting to see who gets the marketing for this. But yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm always up for a new Battlefield, man. It's really not that complicated for me. I love video games, and there's always room for a good-ass Battlefield. And the fan base is owed it. You know what I mean? The fan base is owed a really, really good experience, and I hope that we get it this time around. So down in the comment section, let me know what you guys think. What do you guys expect from this new Battlefield? Since this is out of nowhere, I wasn't even thinking about it, and boom, it's here. It's on the way. So what do you guys expect from it? Let me know in the comment section. Other than that, we'll see you guys Sunday. Once again, 3 p.m. AZ time, 5 p.m. EST. I will make sure I officially announce that on Twitter, but peace out, everybody. Enjoy yourself. Have a great day.